AJ Lee is in the headlines for some big news related to multiple superstars. We'll check out what's going on with Tiffany Stratton, Damage Control, and more. Starting things off with the pretty interesting topic surrounding AJ Lee. AJ was brought into the conversation by Roxanne Perez. Roxanne was recently interviewed by Ring the Bell, and in this interview, Roxanne made a statement that went very viral and made fans wonder if it would ever happen. Roxanne Perez grew up idolizing AJ Lee and watching AJ's successful WWE career. AJ was a big reason why Roxanne Perez wanted to become a pro wrestler. AJ's acknowledged Roxanne on social occasions and social media, even jokingly referring to both Roxanne and Cora Jade as her daughters. But it looks like Roxanne wants a little more from AJ than just that. During this interview, Roxanne said that she wouldn't retire from in-ring action herself until she's made a match with AJ Lee. Roxanne said she'd be willing to wait however long it took until AJ was ready to have that dream match with her. AJ's been completely out of the ring herself since 2015. She has taken up a role in the TV series Heels in recent years, in which she did portray a pro wrestler and did wrestle within the show. But as far as having an actual live match for a promotion, it's been nearly a decade since that took place. AJ's return to WWE, even in a non-wrestling role, has been something fans have been buzzing about ever since CM Punk returned to the company and put all that tension to rest. CM Punk did say himself that he doesn't really see AJ ever returning to the ring. But considering that the current generation of women's division all grew up on AJ Lee, there's always going to be hope alive that she'll pop back up to work with them one day. And that wasn't the only topic involving AJ Lee. She was also mentioned and referenced by Drew McIntyre. While appearing on the Pat McAfee show, Drew McIntyre gave a crazy quote on just how far he'd be willing to go in order to show CM Punk just how much of a troll he is. He had this to say, quote, "I'll tear you apart on social media. I'll step from behind the keyboard and I'll tear you apart physically. And if I wasn't married, I'd take your girl too. That's the kind of troll I am." End quote. So a lot of people can't really keep AJ's name out of their mouths. The young stars in the women's division want to work with her. She's being used to intensify the feud between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. We'll have to see if any of those things could convince AJ to pop up again on WWE television down the line. It seems that WWE has already started hinting at one of the first big new feuds for Becky Lynch's Women's World title reign. While walking backstage at Raw recently, Becky Lynch was approached by the entire Damage Control faction, who appear to be teasing her about how they'll be seeing her regularly now since they're back on Raw. It was a very brief moment, but does plant the seed for a Becky Lynch versus Damage Control revival. Becky versus Damage Control is not a brand new feud by any means at all. Becky Lynch was actually right there in the ring along with Bianca Belair when Damage Control made their first ever WWE appearance at SummerSlam 2022. And it was also an attack from Damage Control just a few days after that, which got Becky Lynch written off of television for several months. Becky would return later in 2022 to get revenge on Damage Control, and the feud lasted all the way through WrestleMania 39 season when Becky and Lita dethroned Damage Control as tag team champions. So this is a feud that's very deep and has lots of layers dating back to 2 years ago. They're not strangers at all to each other, and that feud could most definitely be reignited in current day. What makes this feud feel a bit more fresh in current day is that obviously a lot of dynamics have changed within Damage Control. Bayley's no longer in the group. Asuka and Kairi Sane have joined the group, and you can argue that Dakota and Io are even more evil than they were back in 2022. So a lot has changed for Damage Control, and now that Becky has that title around her waist, she's definitely going to be a main target for them. The only big question asked there is which one of the 4 members will be the one to get that title opportunity against Becky Lynch. Will it be Io Sky, since she just lost her WWE Women's Championship and didn't get a rematch for it? Or will it be Dakota, Asuka, or Kairi that gets a shot at the title? Either way, it looks like Becky Lynch and Damage Control will meet again down the line on Raw. several reports have been surfacing regarding what's coming up for Cody Rhodes and his WWE title reign. According to the reports, Cody won't have any massive earth-shattering feuds and stories for the foreseeable future. He'll continue to have ordinary feuds and small threats to his WWE title reign, but reports claim that Cody Rhodes won't really have a major massive direction until The Rock and Roman Reigns comes back into the picture on WWE television. WWE has basically confirmed that Cody Rhodes will defend his title against The Rock sometime within the next calendar year. They had The Rock pin Cody Rhodes during Night 1 at WrestleMania, and 2 days later, they had The Rock remind Cody Rhodes about that pinfall and literally tell him that their story is just beginning with each other and how he will see them one-on-one in the future. They even had The Rock hold the WWE Championship in his hands and talk about how it just feels right to him and how he needs to hold it again. So there is nothing cryptic or mysterious about that encounter at all. They were making it extremely clear and basically confirming about The Rock versus Cody Rhodes that was set for the future. So it's not to belittle Cody's current feuds and call them filler feuds, but it looks like they'll just be buying some time with several different smaller opponents for Cody until it's finally time to have that title defense against The Rock. So we can expect Cody to continue to have good feuds and title defenses for the foreseeable future, but obviously none of his upcoming opponents should be looked at as actual threats to dethrone him. It looks like the only time Cody's title reign could feel legitimately threatened is when The Rock, along with the new 2.0 version of the Bloodline, come back into play. With Roman Reigns gone from the Bloodline and with Cody trying to defend his title successfully against the rogue versions of The Rock, Solo, Tama, and Jacob, that could definitely be looked at as a big threat to his title reign. So hopefully those major programs for Cody Rhodes aren't that far away. Tiffany Stratton recently spoke with Chris Van Vliet, and she was very vocal about her goal of winning this year's Women's Money in the Bank contract. Tiffany's been a name that's been rumored by fans for several months now to potentially be the favorite to win this year's Money in the Bank, and Tiffany definitely agrees with that idea. Tiffany just doesn't want to win the contract. She also said that she wants to fully customize the Money in the Bank briefcase. Customized briefcases is something that started a long time ago and continues to be done from time to time. We haven't seen much customization for the women's briefcases over the years, but we did most recently see a customized briefcase for Damian Priest. So could WWE turn around and give someone like Tiffany Stratton a customized briefcase? It really seems like a strong possibility, so be on the lookout for that. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.